Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, Avenger here. In today's video we're gonna be taking a look at the lowest placed heavy cruiser. This is Furutaka class, Kako. I still don't know why it's only 4.7, but if you're lucky, like I am currently, unless there's someone on the enemy team that is at 5.7, you are unmatched when it comes to caliber and the damage your guns can deal. Yes, those guns are slow reloading, but take a look at that. This is 200mm Type 88 APCBC shell. Well, first of all, it's AP shell, but take a look at the explosive mass. Almost 3 kilograms of explosive mass. This thing can rip pretty much everything you can face to shreds. With some luck, you are even able to relatively easily deal with things like Admiral Hyper, Graf Spee. As you saw before, this thing has 353mm of pen. It is more than enough to deal with everything up to 5.7 and even up to 6.0 if you are lucky. If you're unlucky, maybe don't bring it to 6.3. As good as Kako can be, she is not a ship that could be reliably brought to 6.3 or even higher for that matter. But if you are playing easy and you want some low tier and don't want to bring things like Shimakaze, things like other destroyers, or maybe Yubari or the light cruisers, Kako is one of the best choices for you, simply because of the guns, simply because of the speed. You get access to very good 610mm Type 8 torpedoes, which aren't the long lances, but they are good enough to be a replacement for the low tier long lance damage. Kako might seem thinly armored. You might want to take a look at the fact that Kako, she is a treaty cruiser. She's a treaty cruiser that was later modernized to be better than typical treaty cruiser. What do I mean by that? For the amount of guns, the only thing in the game that could potentially match you is Krasny Kavkaz. At the same time, Kavkaz is at 5.3 with 180mm guns that are, for the lack of better word in my dictionary, lack-lasting. Kako as a cruiser, as a treaty cruiser. I mean, in general, I don't really praise the low-tier cruisers. If you are someone that watches my channel for quite a while, you do know that I'm not a very big fan of the 5.0 BRs besides the destroyers, and I tend to either skip through that or just grind through, like clench my teeth and go with that. Kako and Sendai are one of the few that break the curse, if I can say it as a curse, break the monotony of the treaty cruisers and are fun enough to play. They give me this unique experience that you can't find anywhere else. If I would have to really compare something to Kako, that would be either Krasny Kavkaz, which is mistakenly labeled as a light cruiser because of the Krasny Krym, which are both the same class cruisers, so the Svetlana class cruiser. Okay, there's the thing that I expected. There's the CAS that I expected. But no worries, I have backup. So, if you are looking for a ship that can deal with things like pretty much everything, go for Kako. Go for Japan 3. Clench your teeth, grind through the early destroyers, which a lot of people don't like. Get yourself Kako, get yourself Akizuki, maybe Yubari if you have, and if not, then well, go for Kako and Akizuki and kick some asses. I would have to mention some drawbacks of Kako, aforementioned long reload of the guns, which, okay, it comes with the caliber of the guns and the technology that we had there, so you can't really expect a 7 or 10-second reload from a gun from basically 20s. No, you'd need to be prepared of playing Kako as a slow sniper. And there's the second problem. You aren't really that protected. As I mentioned, you can survive a lot of beating, but this is more about cruiser to cruiser fight. When it comes to destroyer fighting against you, and more often than not the destroyer will be the US destroyer, just be prepared to maybe not lose, but if you are fighting against someone who knows a little bit more and is not your typical Moffat player, chances are you will get your turrets disabled, and it's gonna be very hard for you to reclaim that advantage that you had. Simplest option, go for the distance. And the harder option is be better, get good, as the Souls players say, and as I am a Souls player also, I can say get good. Now, another problem, as you could see in the game, because I'm gonna include that in the video, Kako has only two twin 13.2mm heavy machine guns. Is that enough? If you are defending yourself against a bomber that is flying relatively low, or against a close air support, sure. If you need the protection against something like that 190, well, the effects you could see. You do need to cooperate with your destroyers, or at least keep yourself close to them to be in a relative peace when it comes to defending yourself against the air threat. One might mention the fact that Kako has very bad dispersion of the shell. Somehow I managed to differentiate two patterns of the shells. It was changed later slightly and the dispersion was reduced, so now it's more manageable, but the first pattern is more of a horizontal one, so it goes like that. The second pattern goes more into a diamond-shaped dispersion, somehow somewhat resembling a rhombus. How do I know that, and how did I notice that? Well, if you play this thing for a long while, because I didn't want to use things like Agano or Sendai or Kako, because I thought, okay, the 5.0 for Japan sucks, and for most of the nations 5.0, 5.3 sucks. So I decided not to play them, and I played more of a Kako and Akizuki. Yeah, that's how I noticed. But yeah, that would be it. Again, like Kako for a spin. It's not that far in the tree, so you don't have to grind for a lot. And the grind is easy enough right now, because you have Harukaze, for example. So very good destroyer for a low tier. Then from that you switch to Akizuki, and Akizuki is really fun to play. And there you have Kako. So you have your 4.7 lineup completed. Maybe get yourself Isuzu if you have the ability, then you can use some of the premium ones, so Hatsuzuki, Kiyoshimo, Yubari or Yudachi, depending on what do you have. If not, go with that too. I guarantee you, you will have fun, especially with those shells. Even at 5.7, you might get this up tier. Don't worry. As long as you have, oops, not the tips option, as long as you have the tier 1 modification, I'm gonna repeat, tier 1 modification, AP shell, and currently, as we know, you don't need to research damage control or fire division first, because you have that, although debuffed, but you have that from the get-go, you can go straight for the shell, and you can go straight for killing those pesky premium ships. That would be it for today. As always, thank you all for watching, and thank you all for sticking up till the end of the video. If you did, consider leaving a comment saying, do you like Kako, do you don't like Kako, maybe you never played it, and I managed you to consider playing Kako. As always, if you did like my videos and you want to see more and get notified of them, consider leaving a like and consider subscribing for the algorithm to push my videos more and more. I really appreciate that. And I hope you have a beautiful day, night, evening, or an afternoon, wherever you are. This is Warthunder out. See you next video. Bye bye.